first presenter this evening. And I'll give this one a little extra applause because it's never fun being the first. But I want you to welcome to the stage Jordan Douglas, and the title of his presentation, Artistic Inheritance, Father and Son.
Early in 2001, my sister Stephanie and I moved my father to a nursing home as he was declining with dementia. We were faced with having to clear out and sell his house and studio of 54 years to pay for his care. He had become a hoarder, and within the clutter of his old brick cottage was a lifetime of art. After we secured the outer layer of art, the visible work, we dug in to find countless boxes and stacks of drawings and paintings. Deep in the recesses of his dank basement, we found the portraits he had long talked about. Stephen Douglas had early success as an illustrator on Broadway. Fresh out of the High School of Music and Art in Manhattan in 1954, he changed his name from Cohen and worked with nearly all the important actors of his era. Now, for the first time, we could see these stylized caricatures with signatures from the celebrities. In a 1955 modern screen feature about Marilyn Monroe, she is at the Actors Studio, sitting with Eli Wallach, Ben Gazzara, and on the left, my father, who was only 18. After a couple of years of traveling to Europe and Puerto Rico, where his work became increasingly realistic, he enrolled at the Art Students League to study oil painting and traditional techniques. He had minor exhibitions and worked on commission. In 1963, he attended a lecture by an Indian guru and was inspired to give up his drive for material success. He became a vegetarian, he meditated, he married my mom, who was a Holocaust survivor, and they moved to Westchester to be closer to nature and raise a family. Here we are, next to the old house in Yorktown in 1970. That's me looking up at my younger brother, Gavin. Away from the lights of the city, my father taught classes from home and at various art centers in the region, and he drew and painted voraciously. To me, his watercolors are the most exciting, for they reveal his dance on the tightrope between control and risk. My father was a difficult figure, but he was a gifted teacher. When I was a child, he taught me how to use pencils and paint, but most importantly, he taught me the language of art. He showed me to study shadows to understand dimension, and to look at the big picture before getting caught in the details. Lessons that have stayed with me throughout my career as an artist and teacher. He continued to make art into his 80s, although his life had become dysfunctional. And now, I have the responsibility of managing his legacy. There are over 1,000 pieces of work, and much of it is in need of restoration. In time, I hope to bring his art to a larger audience. It took a year during the pandemic to empty and sell the house, which had been a touchstone in my life. For my process of letting go, I needed to access my creativity. With each visit, I photographed with black and white film to capture the steady undoing of my father's world. Images I call 950 Starlight Road. As we sifted through pile after pile of dadtritis, I collected objects that spoke of the eccentric artist. Back in Vermont, I photographed these items over a light box as a way of remembering. As I assessed the contact sheets, I noticed how the objects were communicating with each other. I scanned the sheets so that I could digitally crop them into smaller grids. For the first 10 rolls, the relationships across frames and rows were unplanned, and then I began to arrange the sequences with more intention. My contact grids were first exhibited at Burlington's new art studio last year, and recently at the Panopticon Gallery in Boston. This is my lovely sister Stephanie. Stephen Douglas died last June, and on the eve of carrying his ashes to Cape Cod to scatter them into the dunes and waves, I got inspired to photograph his mortal remains. I opened an old Chinese tea tin he had kept in his kitchen and poured out his cremated ashes over photographs. An image from 2008 of his hands holding soil in his backyard. My father, the artist, as a baby, gazes from beneath the dust of his own body.